Wally, thank you for the introduction, but let me start out by directly answering your question because I'm beginning a campaign today. My campaign announcement is I am campaigning to remove Barack Obama from the presidency. You know, you guys throw one heck of a party right here in Montgomery County. This is a party, this is the grand old party, and no one does it like Montgomery County. But before I say that, let me just tell you, it is great to be out of the People's Republic of Austin back into a real Republican county. And I got to tell you, every time we move outside of the barrier of Travis County, we can tell there's something in the air. Something in the air in Montgomery County you just don't feel the same in Travis County, and that's the smell of freedom. The smell of freedom that goes along with people who believe in free enterprise, who believe, contrary to our president, that yes, you did build it, you can build it, you are the result of your own hard work. We had an election last night, as you all know, and that election is a turning point in this election cycle. We now make the turn, and we come together as a party, galvanized for one purpose. We must take back this country by firing Barack Obama this November. Someone asked me a while back, what exactly does the Texas Attorney General do? I said, my job's pretty easy. I go into the office, I sue the federal government, and then I go home. With Barack Obama as president, I've sued the federal government about 24 times in the last 3 years. Senator Williams and Representative Creighton would be happy to know, if I could bill by the hour, I could resolve the state's budgetary issues all by myself. But I'll tell you what we're fighting for. In these lawsuits, we're fighting for freedom itself. We're fighting against a federal government run amok. And we're fighting against a president who has abandoned the United States Constitution. On the very day that Barack Obama signed Obamacare into law, Texas was there filing a lawsuit, sending a message to Barack Obama, don't mess with Texas with your overreaching federal health care plan. The way it ended was a way that no one expected. We all thought we were fighting about this unprecedented mandate forcing Americans to go out and buy a product against their will. Little did we know, in fact no one knew, that Chief Justice Roberts would change the outcome of the case by concluding that Obamacare imposes a new tax mandate, that Americans must pay a tax they had no awareness of. But let me tell you the danger by the Obamacare tax. It's unprecedented. Now the federal government is authorized to impose a tax on you if you make a decision not to purchase a product like health care insurance. My friends, this is a tax on liberty itself. It cannot be tolerated. We must repeal Obamacare by repealing Barack Obama. The Obama administration is also promoting voter fraud in this country. We see that by their support of the lawsuit they're waging against the state of Texas with regard to our voter ID law. Understand this. 4 years ago, the United States Department of Justice at that time said voter IDs were perfectly legal. The United States Supreme Court has said voter IDs are perfectly legal. The only people who disagree with that are Obama's lawyers who are challenging us because they don't want voters to have to prove who they are when they go vote. But Texas is not the only battleground on this, which is why I say they are waging this war nationwide. Look at what happened in Florida. Florida tried to purge their voter rolls of illegal voters. So what does Obama do? He files a lawsuit trying to stop Florida from purging illegal voters. Now they filed another lawsuit in Pennsylvania trying to stop Pennsylvania from enforcing its own voter ID law. Let me tell you, I have prosecuted voter fraud across the state of Texas. This last election in May, there were more than 200 dead people who cast votes, 213 of which showed up and cast a vote in person, even though they were dead. Let me tell you, voter fraud is real. It must be stopped, and we will go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court if we have to put an end to cheating and illegal voting at the ballot box in Texas. All this has to remind you of Charlie Rangel. You know, the old-time Democrat. Charlie Rangel said when he dies, he wants to be buried in Barack Obama's hometown of Chicago so he can still remain active in politics. And of course, we're fighting against an overreaching EPA that's using bureaucrats to crush jobs around the country. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that the lawsuits that we have filed can only go so far. And court actions can only do so much. If we're going to transform this country, if we're going to restore our nation to the constitutional principles upon which it was built, then we have to do more than legal action. We need to enact reform at the ballot box this November, fire Barack Obama, and replace him with conservatives who will carry out the purpose of the Constitution.